What is up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? My name's Naomi. Welcome to House of Miscellania. If you're joining me for the first time, welcome. If you are coming back to see me, thanks for coming back. I super appreciate you and everything that you do. So today I am bringing you a WIP and chat. WIP stands for work in progress, and I'm going to chat at you for about an hour. You can use this as an opportunity to work on something of your own. Otherwise, this is a great time for you to use it as a podcast. If that's what you like to do, you can watch or not watch. You can do whatever you like, but either way, let's get started. So I am using basically my same tools that I always use because, well, I love them. I have a pen from Black Wolf Woodworks. It's the cactus down here and it's full of wheat up in the top. I love this thing. My thin metal multiplacer from Diamond Art Club. Love that thing. I highly recommend getting one. I'm using putty from Diamond Art Club. I got my little square here. Some people say they like it. Some people don't. I love it. I don't know what to tell you. I also have a tray from Firefly. This thing is awesome, you guys. It is their Switch Mini Max. It has a flip out pour spout. Love that. As well as a trash tray that you can remove. And then this little hole right here is so that when you walk away, you can put your pen somewhere and it doesn't roll off the table like they like to do. Either way, let's get started, right? Why not? So I have some things to catch you up on for the last couple of weeks, actually, because I didn't do a whip and chat last week. It's been really busy. We've got the kids' graduation party coming up, and so been prepping for that, as well as I have been busy, you guys. So I told you guys before that I wanted to try my hand at pen turning. Who knows, may turn it into a business, may not. I'm unsure, but it would be a nice way to make a little bit of extra money. And, you know, as I've not been working, it would be good to have some money, right? Well, let me show you what I've got here. My very first one. Now, these are all made of wood because wood's all I've worked with so far, but I'm going to be moving into resin as well. This was my very first pen, and actually, I'm really proud of the results. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it or not. I definitely see, the places that I need to improve, the places that I did, I feel I did really well. I've also got, let's see, this was my second one. I've played around with this one a little bit too. These are both curly cherry. I did one that is bi-colored, which I think is really cool. This one actually has like flash on it. It's wood and it has flash on both sides. There and there. Oh my gosh, I love it. This part right here is mahogany. It has, these parts are cherry and then catalpa and then walnut down here at the end. So it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4 different types of wood. Pretty darn cool. I like this one too. Just a little guy. And I've got these 3. These 2, I wanted to try my hand at a little one. Just a little mini one. Just a skinny little thing. Really like this one. I think it's cute. And then I've got this one here. So these are both cherry, curly cherry specifically. These 2 are cherry, curly cherry, and then this last one is ironwood. I really like this one too. It's got a nice thick base on it. I kind of went with like 2 different sizes. I really feel like I did a good job for my first few, you know what I mean? So next I'm going to work with some resin, and I'm going to try my hand at some hybrids. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it. whether or not I'll sell things, whatever. Like, there have been a few of these that people are like, I want that one. Okay, well, sure, sounds good. So I may or may not have some House of Miscellania diamond painting pens coming out, which I'm super stoked about. So that's one thing that kept me really busy. And then, like I said, working on graduation party stuff, helping the in-laws because my mother-in-law, as I mentioned in a previous Whip and Chat, she's been having some issues with regard to her health. Nothing terribly serious, but, she doesn't like to bother anybody, and so instead of kind of being forthcoming about what's going on, she was being a little secretive, so I had to insert myself, and it's not something that I would normally do with, my elders or whatever, but I needed to let her know that I'm available, you know what I mean, that I'm here. And so I'm just trying to make myself available, and that meant cutting back on doing some videos, things like that. So I did want to apologize for not having a lot out there as far as content goes, but as you guys know, and I'm sure it's the same for you, family comes first, right? So in other news, Dustin actually experienced his first kind of FOMO. He talked to me a little bit about it, having to do with his succulent collection. It sounds silly that there would be any kind of FOMO, like, with regard to that, but, he brought it up to me, and he's like, it's weird. I had my first experience with FOMO, and I was like, yeah, tell me about it. And, he was talking about how the store basically kind of told him, like, yeah, well, we only have, this group, and, we don't know when we're going to have them again. So you pretty much, if you see it, you got to buy it. And so, obviously with succulents, it's a little less expensive than like diamond painting, but it's funny how the two, you could even have FOMO with something like succulents. And it seems like it's sort of the new sales tactic for companies, and I felt bad for them because I get it, right? It's like, I understand probably better than most exactly what you mean by that, but like, what do? You either decide to cave and get the things that you want to get, or you hold off and you say, well, I'm just going to have to understand that I'm going to miss out on things. And so he's been taking less trips to the store to, see what their stock looks like. So I totally, I get it. I did also want to share with you a bit of a funny story. So I have been taking Beans and Bowie separately for lots of walks. It's that time of year where I like to get out of the house, do other things besides just sit in diamond painting, whatever. I do diamond paint and I get a lot done, but I got to get out, you know what I mean? In nice weather like this, I can't let it go to waste. So I've been doing a lot of walking with Beans. Well, I spend a lot of time too in Discord. The Discord group is linked down below, so you're not going to miss out on anything, but we'd love to have you there. There's a chat room, a voice chat that we use in there. And so, we visit, things like that, whatever. We have a good time, a really good time. Well, so I'll usually put on my headphones and connect it to my Bluetooth. I'll walk around, whatever. Well, this particular time I wasn't on Discord, but I was on a phone call with one of the, the Dazzlers, the group, what have you, viewers. Uh, a person who's become a very, very, very close friend. And we're chatting away, whatever. And it's spring, so flowers are in bloom, right? And I'm thinking, oh, I love lilacs. They're my favorite flower, my favorite flower. And we have a lot of lilac trees in the neighborhood. And lining like our streets downtown, we've got a bunch of lilac trees. So there's this one, and it just smells luxurious. I mean, I was just dying. I wanted to go over and give it a good sniff. So I do. Wander over to the tree. I start giving it a good old sniff, and all of a sudden, I feel just like on the back of my head, just one good time. So right in the back of my head. And I was like, what the hell was that? Like, what? And all of a sudden, I feel it again. And I look behind me, and there's this red-winged blackbird just flapping, freaking out. I realized, oh, okay, that tree that I just gave a good sniff to had her nest in it, and she's pecking me in the back of the head. Oh my God, I wish somebody would have had a damn camera, because I'm sure if somebody saw it, they got a good laugh, because this bird pecked me like probably 3 solidly good times right in the back of my damn head. And yeah, I learned my lesson. Get away from her tree. So that tree, I stay away from it. If I need to go give a good sniff to some flowers, I find another tree, because I'm not trying to get pecked in the back of the head. And I just pretty much avoid it, because I wouldn't want to be walking beans and then all of a sudden there's this bird coming after both of us. So it was hilarious, though. I wish I would have been like not me watching me getting pecked in the back of the head, because that would have been great. Just dumb, but it was funny. I laughed about it. We've got a lot of birds that are roosting around, whatever. Ducks, so many ducks. I've seen lots of baby ducks. I've seen lots of baby birds. We've got a river, as I've mentioned before. There's kind of river on both sides of my house. So like down this way, there's the river, and then right behind me, there's the river is like 3 blocks this direction and like 5 blocks that direction. So like I can walk straight down to the river, and there's lots of starlings, and the baby starlings are, finally starting to come into their feathers and hop out of the nests. So just lots of birds, lots and lots of birds. But anyways, yeah, so that was my fun story, getting pecked in the back of the damn head. Like, oh my gosh, it is what it is. I just learned to watch where I'm sniffing, I guess. And then, kind of just to update on some other things. One of the Dazzlers, one of the viewers, and her name is Dawn to Dusk Gems. That's her username that she goes by. She has completed, and I just have to give the final approval on it, a diamond painting for my logo. I will pop my logo up on the screen just so you see what I'm talking about. And then I will also, following that one, I will show you the mock-up that she made for me for the diamond painting. It's going to be, it looks like a 61 by 61. I can't remember how many colors she said it was, but no 310s. I'm totally fine with that. I am all right with there not being any 310s, but my plan was to see how many people were interested in their own House of Miscellania logo diamond painting, and then I'm going to get a hold of Stephanie over at Lazy River Crafts and see what, a run might cost. So if you're interested, definitely put down in the comments that you're interested, because I would love to let her know that, hey, I want to do I want to do a custom, and I've got people who are interested in buying. So let me know if you are one of those people. I've been working on stuff as well, like plans and giveaways and sponsors and all sorts of stuff for Wings and Anythings. What is this little bug doing? Sorry, there's like a little gnat flying around. I don't know what's happening. I've been doing my piece for Wings and Anythings, Voyager. She is almost done, you guys. I have, well, let me look. I have 3 squares left on her. And so I've decided to make my backup, my Lazy River Crafts piece, Loto Lunar. So I've been working on Voyager, and then I've also been working on Loto Lunar, and oh my gosh, you guys, like, just both very, very, very beautiful pieces. And things are going really well with the event. I'm going to do another, like, kind of WIP roundup. Probably I'll put it out again on Sunday after the live on Saturday, so I can kind of let people know, like, hey, make sure you get your updated photos in so I can share your WIPs. And yeah, otherwise, if you're looking for the sign up for Wings and Anythings, it's still going on. We have a live event every Saturday, and there's a giveaway every Saturday. And yeah, it's been fun. It's been lots of fun. My first go at an event, and so I'm having a good time. Like, yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah, the mental health marathon for mental health live, excuse me, technically was an event, but I didn't really know what in the heck I was doing. You know what I mean? Like, I really just was. I still don't know what I'm doing. I'm learning as I go, but it's definitely been an experience this time around because, you know, it's much more involved. As I've been kind of working through the event, you know, there's lots and lots of talk right now of retreats. That seems to be kind of on the community's brain. And so it's another one of those FOMO things, I feel like, because, you know, there's lots of us who either A, never knew anything was going on with regard to retreats, or couldn't afford it, or just, you know, wanted to go, but there weren't enough spots or spaces. And so I've been thinking about that too. And we've got a convention center where I live, in town where I live. And I was actually kind of like poking around the idea of finding out what it might entail to do a retreat, to run one. Now, granted, I wouldn't know I don't even know what they do at a retreat, right? But I always hate to see, like, people feel excluded. It's a terrible feeling. It's a really terrible feeling when you feel like you've missed out on something. Like, either you were never given the option, or whatever the reason might be. I just feel bad for people who were never even given an option, I guess. And so maybe it's crazy of me to even think about trying to do something like that, especially not even knowing really what goes on at a retreat. I mean, there's people that I can talk to. I've heard a couple of people mention, like, you know, if you're thinking about planning a retreat, get in touch and I can kind of talk you through or whatever. And I may utilize some of that knowledge out there because I'm thinking about it. Let's just put it that way. I'm thinking about it because I just, yeah, I always struggle with exclusion. I got picked on, really hardcore bullied in school, especially high school. I was never one of the popular people, and so I always empathize with even adults that feel like they're not part of the cool kids club. I still feel like that, to this day, in this community. You know what I mean? You can feel very excluded. And it's funny too, because like, it's diamond painting, right? Like, it shouldn't even be that serious. It's diamond painting. But there are definitely aspects of this that can feel really immature, high schoolish almost. And I deal with that still deal with that. Even though I've tried to remove myself from things that might cause that feeling, it's still there. It's still there. And so, because I know how it feels to be excluded and whatnot, I'm trying to remedy that. I would like to help people not feel that way. So it's on the brain. Let's put it that way. I don't have any solid plans, but it's on the brain. So be aware of that. It's on the radar, right? Other than that, having, kind of talked about life and what's going on, the kids are doing good. One thing in particular that I did want to talk about, and I talked about it on my live earlier today, and oddly enough, I didn't realize how actually pertinent what I talked about on the live today was going to be, because I talked about change and how, things are changing every day. I feel like I'm moving into a different kind of space in life. And so I wanted to expand on that a little bit, because after my live, I didn't go straight into the Discord because my oldest wanted to talk to me. And I was a little concerned because she brought it up before the live. She asked me, like, hey, can I talk to you when your live is done? Like, what time do you usually get done? Da 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 da. And I'm like, she looks like it's something important. So, after the live, I hopped off and, I called for Aurora, my oldest, and told her I was finished. This will all be relevant to the whole change thing in just a moment. And she came down and she said, I've been giving it a lot of thought, and Arturo, that's her boyfriend, he really wants to go to grad school when we're finished with college, and a city that's about 4 hours from us has a very wonderful grad program, and that would mean both of them moving there because she would go with him. And it's also where her dad lives. Now, I know it's not at all about her choosing her dad over me or anything like that. It's her spreading her wings, moving forward in her life, and trying new things. And to be honest, like, it's hard for me not to get emotional about it, because she and I are like two peas in a pod. We've been very close her whole life. We co-slept until she was 5. We spent summers together at the Renaissance Fair, sleeping in a tent. feet from each other, and we've built some incredible memories, the two of us. And so while, yes, I'm also close with my son and I love him desperately, my daughter and I have a very different and special kind of bond. My son, he and Dustin, they are really close with one another. They're very alike, and they talk about things, whatever, but it's the natural way of things, right? And so this one is really, really hard. Really hard. And I think you have to be a mom to understand what it feels like. It's hard. Got to keep my crap together here. I was talking about change on the live, right? About how I feel like I'm entering my crone stage. And in that, you're no longer a mother or a maiden. You start in your maiden phase, your mother phase, and then into crone. And I am by no means an old woman, right? But I no longer need to nurture small children. I no longer need to be that woman. Now I can be a different woman. And this move, this change for her, it signifies a change for me too. And change is feckin' terrifying. It's really, really terrifying. It's almost like you don't know how to find your feet in life. It's terrifying because you don't know what happens next, right? It's like a book that you long to get into the next chapter because you want to know what happens next. And it also brings to mind, like, you start to get morbid almost about, life, being alive, being yourself, like truly, well and truly yourself. And her moving away. Now, no, she's not moving out of the country, but I have a hard time getting her to come see me 20 minutes away at college, much less moving 4.5 hours, 3.5, 4 hours away, and getting her to visit then. What's that going to look like? So it's scary. I'm, at first, I think I scared her because I kind of said, like, let me process my emotions before I talk further about it, because I didn't want to just start sobbing in front of her. Like, she probably, and I know for a fact that she struggled with that probably for a long time before she told me. I'm sure it was really hard for her to break that news to me, as hard as it was for me to hear it. I'm so proud of the human that she's become. And I know that I've done the best that I can do to prepare her for the world and all of the crazy that exists in it. I've done the best I can do. And I'm so excited to see what the next thing is for her, what the next chapter is, what the next adventure is. But I'm also a little scared to see what that means for me, and what that means for my life, and what changes that's going to bring in my life. I've always told people, do things that scare you, right? Do the things that terrify you, because in those moments, you're really alive. I'm scared of this, you guys. I'm scared. And I don't know how to feel. It's weird to feel happy and sad, to be like confident in what I've taught her, and scared crapless. It's a really weird feeling. I don't even know that I can describe it to a person who isn't a parent. And that can even mean like adopted parent. I guess it's different for everybody. So my fellow mamas out there who your kids kind of flew the nest, like, tell me down in the comments what that was like for you, because I'm going through it. I really, really am. But here's what I have for at least the moment. I know that I will persevere through it, because I've had to so many times. I've had to like literally boost myself up, just pull myself out of the darkness, right? And to let go of something so precious to me. It's like that whole idea of, squeezing you hold a baby bird in your hands, and if you squeeze too hard, you'll kill it, which is why you have to hold the baby bird loosely and let it fly when it wants to fly. And I have to think about Aurora as that baby bird, to not squeeze too tightly, to not hold too hard. And I look back at being her age, and man, in our 20s, we sure do feel invincible and scared crapless. And she really, after I had some time to process my emotions and how I was feeling and what I was thinking, I went back and talked to her, and she's scared. She's scared probably more than I am. I think she felt like she was betraying me by leaving, and I definitely don't want her to feel like that. I want her to feel like this is, her new adventure, her big adventure, and to be excited about it, and to feel like she's got an adventure coming. There's this quote from Erica Jong, and it's, I have accepted fear as part of life, specifically the fear of change. I have gone ahead despite the pounding in my heart that says, turn back. I don't know how many times in my life I have been so terrified of what was to come that I turned back. I gave up. I got too scared and went, it's too hard. I can't do it. And I told Aurora, like, this is your time now. Like from the Goonies, right? It's your time. And I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here no matter what. There will always be a place, and I'll always be waiting. But at the same time, you know, I've got to make my adventures too. I've got to make my life what I need it to be. So that's what I'm going to do, you guys. I'm going to keep changing and growing and accepting and loving, because that's what I want my life to have been about when I'm not here anymore. I want it to have been about how kind I was, or how giving I was, or accepting that I was, and that I really took the time to make people feel like they meant everything to me. Every person that I come in contact with, to let them know what they really mean. And I hope that I do that. I hope that I make people feel that way, that, you know, their support is everything, that their words of encouragement are everything, that, you know, I'm grateful for the path that we walk on together, because I don't know that any of us can do it alone, nor should we. We shouldn't have to. We shouldn't feel like we, you know, like we are, because there's nothing scarier than feeling like you're walking the path alone. So I'm taking this time to understand how I feel, and really just pinning it down and looking it dead in the face and dealing with it. I've run too many times. I've turned back too often in my life. And this time I'm not going to. I'm not gonna be, you know, emotionally manipulative to get what I want. Not that I've just always done that, but it's easier to do that as a parent, to, you know, guilt trip her into feeling guilty about leaving me. And, you know, I dealt with that from my mom. When she was alive, I dealt with that a lot. And I don't want that for Aurora. I really don't. It's so easy to fall into that role, to make her feel like I can't do it without her. Well, of course I can. Of course I can. I'm going to miss her desperately, and I let her know that. I let her know that, of course, there are going to be some stipulations. I'm going to need promises of visits. We're going to need to work out some sort of a schedule. And I have a year before this happens. So I'm glad that she gave me some time to process. I know that as that time gets closer, oh, it's going to be terrible, you guys. It's going to be terrible. I'm really going to struggle. I already know. But I'm so glad that she let me know in enough time that I can really fill our moments with some more magic, some more meaning, because that's what it's really about. And in the meantime, like I said, I can really put a microscope on how I'm feeling about it and how I'm going to process it, where I want it to go, how I want it to feel, and to not use weapons that were used against me to impede my independence, because she deserves every bit of independence that she wants for herself, right? doesn't she? I mean, I look back on the time that I spent and how scared I was, and then to feel like I was supposed to feel guilty or something, and I don't want that for her. I just don't. But man, you guys, it's hard. It's really hard because it's so easy to fall into those patterns. And so I didn't realize that when I brought up talking about change today, that it was going to be so freaking pertinent to what conversation I was about to have. Man, I love it when I just kick myself in the, I put my foot in my own mouth and really set myself up. But I tell you, it was like, as soon as she started saying the words, I was like, it is really, really weird that you're saying this now after I literally just had a conversation about change being so hard and big changes. And she wasn't like sitting and listening to me, but man, did I portend my own bullcrap. What can you do? I just predicted my own crap, and it's like, Naomi, you got to stop doing that. You really got to stop doing that. Tell me what scares you. What change scares you? And what do you intend to do about it? Because it's easy. It's easy to turn back. It's easy to turn back and to say it's too hard. But tell me what change you want to make that you're scared to make and what you're going to do about it. Because ultimately, we got to meet our goals, right? We got to do the hard things. Let's do the hard things together, you and me. Let's do the hard things. I don't want to do them any more than you do, but let's do them together. I also wanted to talk a little bit about growing up. Yeah, okay. I've said multiple times, I'm never going to grow up. I'm just going to grow older because I don't have to grow up. I just have to grow older. Yeah, that's true. And I'm probably always going to be immature in a lot of ways. There's a part of me that will probably never fully grow up. It's a fool's game to think that, I'm just gonna fully grow up, because it's not happening. It really is not happening. But in the ways that I have to, let's talk a little bit about that, right? Because this is a way that I have to, and I have no choice. So when I was Aurora's age, she's 22 now. Wait, 22? Going on 23. Going to be 23 in September. Is that right? Wait a second. It's 2024. Yes. She's going to be 23 in September. A Libra. Through and through a Libra. But at her age, I was already a parent. I had her, right? And so some of the adventure that she's going to be able to have as a person who is not a parent, I think it's going to be awesome for her. She's going to have a good time, a scary time, all the things. But at her age, right, I really felt like I was an adult, right? Psh, I didn't know nothing. I had no idea. But I can tell you that the world was, felt more, I guess, under my control because I was a parent. I felt like I had a little more control of my life and my decisions. I had to, because I had to be a parent, right? But I remember feeling like, well, scared, obviously, but also I felt like almost like you look at your kid and you feel like I would die for this person. I would lay on a bomb for this little person that I'm holding on to. And really, really, I would. I would. I'd jump in front of a train. I would take a bullet. I would do whatever I had to do for both of my kids. And so, you know, like, I felt like while like I said, I'm never fully going to grow up, where it comes to my kids, both my kids, that's where I really have always been kind of an older person, right? I took care of my younger sibling. I even raised my mom in some different ways. But that's where I feel like I've really been a grown-up, is by being a parent. And it really took being a parent to cause a lot of changes in my life. I'm grateful for every one of them. I feel like I've done a lot to come full circle from being an adult as a kid. Being an adult as a kid. You saw that, didn't you? No, you didn't. Haha, the camera's far away. I dumped a bunch of drills, but not like they're on the canvas. That's just the canvas, not the sticky part, thank goodness. So you missed it. Sorry. Oh, well. But yeah, I feel like I've come full circle from the little kid who was raising kids to an adult who was raising kids. That growing up, I'll tell you what, man, that was hard. And it's one of those don't wish it on anybody sorts of things. But you honestly, you can't know it until you've gone through it. Exactly what that grow up feels like. That said, I was thinking about, where would I be if I hadn't had kids when I was, in my early 20s. It's almost inconceivable, like Princess Bride, to think about it, because, like, I can't look at my life in like woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? Because I had kids. What happened in my life happened. I wouldn't change it for the world, but I can imagine it differently, right? I think that if I hadn't had children, when I had children, I feel like I would probably have gotten myself into probably way more trouble a lot earlier in life. I would have been probably wayward, getting myself into all kinds of situations because I didn't have, a little person to look out for. Think I would have been worse off, honestly, because I feel like I wouldn't have made the right choices. So I'm definitely grateful for my kids, causing me to make necessary changes. So I'm grateful, very, very grateful for them. Because I feel like, oh my gosh, I would have floundered. I would have gotten myself very lost. And imagining my life differently, I probably would have left the town that I'm in now. I would have found a way to get the hell out of here. I would have made my escape if I hadn't had my kids. Found somewhere to get into trouble, because like I said, I definitely would have gotten into trouble. I can guarantee that. And I think a lot of it would have had to do with a sense of like, I'm owed this fun because I've been a parent my whole life and blah, 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 whatever excuse I'd have to make for myself to do stupid crap, because I would. Like I said, I already know I'd be doing stupid crap. So I would make some excuse about why I was owed whatever and do dumb crap, honestly. And imagining my life differently than it has been. I also feel like I would never have met Dustin, and so therefore, again, my life would be lonelier and sadder, and I actually kind of like get scared thinking about if my life were different. I'm just very grateful for the life that I do have. And while, yeah, I'm scared crapless right now about her moving away and, you know, spreading her wings, flying, all that stuff, I'm definitely not ungrateful for the time that I've had being her mom, like teaching her lessons, and I still do. But it's weird to not be needed in that way anymore, you know? I don't know. Very, very, very pensive. Very pensive, you guys. I just can't wait to see what happens next for her, you know? Not that I'm going to be living vicariously through her, but I'm going to be watching very, very closely to see how she makes decisions and how she moves about in the world and finds her feet, because I'm sure that, you know, she may look back on this time like, what if I had decided to stay? What if I had decided to do this, that, the next, whatever? And I don't want her to imagine her life differently. And if she does imagine her life differently, I don't want her to look at it and to be sad or upset with her choices, because I think that no matter what she does, no matter what she's ever done, I'm so proud. I'm so proud. And the things that you're doing in your life right now, I'm proud of you too, because you're doing the hard things. And if you're not doing the hard things, I can safely say that you can and should challenge yourself, because, you know, we all need to do the stuff that scares us crapless, because we don't grow and we don't learn if we don't try, right? So embark on something scary with me, would you? And then tell me what it is so that I can cheer you on in the scary thing, because I need somebody to be scared crapless with me. That said, I'm thinking of something crazy, and I don't even know if I should say it out loud to anyone, because somebody might tell Dustin, and then Dustin will start getting ideas, but it's a little bit nuts. And I told Dustin that, you know, someday maybe I would, but with this, like, this change happening, and, you know, kind of mortality staring me straight in the face, I'm terrified of heights, you guys. I'm so terrified of heights. I'm actually thinking about skydiving, jumping out of a plane. because it scares the crap out of me. But I'm really thinking about it. And I know it's something Dustin wants to do. Oh, God, it gives me like a gut drop just thinking about it. Just thinking about it makes my stomach just go, boo. But I think it's the thing that I want to do next. I really do. You know why? Because it scares the crap out of me. And not because I want to, die or anything. But I think it would be like living. And that sounds pretty cool. So I'm thinking about it. I may talk to Dustin about it. I don't know what something like that costs or whatever, but I think I want to try. Because I want to do what scares me. Try something new. Challenge myself. And really feel alive. For me, show the kids that it's okay to do something that scares you. I'm thinking about it. Is it crazy? Yes. Yes, it's crazy. But I think I really want to try. I'll update you on what that ends up looking like. Because I may just go, you know what, I changed my mind. I decided I want to do that. That's not how I want to live my life. I don't need to live like that. I can live in other ways and yada, 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 yada. Whatever excuse I got to make to get myself out of what I just said out loud to you. Yeah, I might do that. We'll see. We'll see. But I want you to challenge yourself to something scary too. You don't have to jump out of a plane, but like I said, tell me what you've got going on, what change you want to make, if you need some support on that, whatever, and what way are you going to challenge yourself, and what way can I support you, because I'd love to be able to do that too. I have talked about a lot today, right? Sorry if I scared you a little bit. I always try to talk about the hard stuff. And sometimes it's really hard. Really, really hard. But on the bonus side, you're going to just get something out of me, right? You're going to get something. Might not always be pearls, but you'll get something out of me. That said, you guys, I'm going to finish up the square, and then, yeah, I'm going to think some more on that whole idea of jumping out of a plane. We'll decide if that needs to be said out loud to Dustin or not. But, we'll see how that goes. Regardless, as I always say, you guys, I hope that wherever you are in this great, big, beautiful world, that you are having a wonderful morning, evening, or afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are. I will hopefully see you again soon. Bye-bye. But I'm actually thinking about skydiving, jumping out of... Ooh. I had to edit that because I said a naughty word.